Hello and thanks for joining me today on Big Little Small Talk. My name's Megan.
This is a 102.7 FM Toowoomba original podcast.
Called Dr. Kumar with me today. Welcome, Uma.
Thank you, Megan. It's lovely to
Welcome
be
everybody to my podcast, Big Little Small Talk. I'm Megan O'Hara-Sullivan and I love to talk, but I also love to listen. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the episode.
The Heartfulness Institute. Yes. You are the chair of the Peace Committee.
That's right, yes.
You were the former secretary of the Toowoomba Tamil community.
Yes.
And plenty more too. So let's start with the Heartfulness Institute. What is that?
So the Heartfulness Institute is a global organisation that is in over 140 countries and runs on volunteers. So the philosophy of Heartfulness Institute is to create a living based on the heart. So moving away from the materialism and going back to the values that I think all humans are aware of and are wanting to incorporate into their life. And it's a lot about self-development, so me becoming a better me. And I think the wonderful thing is there's no pressure about people coming and attending our sessions, and we basically have meditation and meditative practices, and we work on yogic philosophy, which dates back thousands of years really. But there's no pressure on people having to come and pay or do anything like that. It's just a community that supports each other, and if it's your thing, you stick to it. If it's not, you can walk away. So yeah.
On a very practical level, how does that work? Like, where do you do your yoga and who pays for the studio?
So it's donation based. So we're really lucky. So every town, and of course there would be thousands of them, does it differently. So the volunteers locally will source, grants, or like we're really lucky in Toowoomba because we have the Change Project under council, and they've supported us for quite a few years. So under that, they're happy to give us a room at the library, promote us as well. And so through that, we're open for anyone from the community to come in, from teenagers onwards, not to be too young, it's a bit tricky. And then people who've been around for a long time who love it will donate themselves, so.
As instructors, do you mean?
As instructors or volunteers, or even people who attend. Sometimes people will be like, I've been coming for a few years, we'd like to give something. And then, of course, they can donate whatever they feel like. And then that gets utilised into things like running programs or creating, articles, or we have a Heartfulness magazine, things go into that. Depending on where you are, some places do like social work where they get involved in soup kitchens and things like that. So it's all based on the strength of the volunteers in that city.
So I'm out there listening now and I think, I don't even know how to do yoga. I don't know how to do meditation. What do I do?
Yeah, so really reaching out so we have something called Heart Spots, which is you just get onto the internet, Google it, and you just put down the town you're looking for or where you are, and it will connect you or give you contacts of the local trainers, and through that you can contact the trainer and find out when and where and what they're doing. And there's a little bit of, because in Australia we don't have big numbers when we're in our centres, we don't have thousands of people. Some countries will have thousands or tens of thousands of people, and so there's a lot of one-to-one explanation and support on meditation, because everyone knows it's a good thing but it's tricky. We're not used to sitting quietly. And the part of what we mainly do is that it's not a chanting or anything like that. It's sitting quietly and focusing on your inner self and building the strength within. It's amazing what can happen in silence. It's quite powerful. But you do need people to be there and support you. And, it's kind of like having a personal trainer, who's like, you can do more, you can do it, it's okay.
So Uma, as an individual, are you going to a class or are you having this training with a person one-on-one to start, or how does it all work like that?
Yeah, so we do it as a class because I think people feel a little bit more comfortable to come into a group session. So here in Toowoomba we do 2 sessions a week, and they're at the library, so it'll be Wednesday night and then Sunday morning. So people, once they find us, can come join and just come and go as much as they want to, ask questions, we guide them into the meditation. Admittedly, we don't talk much. This is a space for ourselves, individually. And so afterwards, we're there to support people and answer any questions. And then there are opportunities to do one-on-one meditations, or other practices that myself and my husband basically are doing. We're the only two trainers in Toowoomba, but we're there to do one-on-one as well. But it's led by the person coming in and how comfortable they are to go into things like that. Yeah.
What do people need to say, I want to go on Sunday morning? What time on Sunday morning is it?
So it's 10 a.m.
Okay.
Yes.
And do I need a yoga mat, or
No.
what do I need to wear?
So just whatever is comfortable. So we don't, in Toowoomba, we're not trained to do actual yoga, the modern day yoga that everyone does. It's mainly, we call the meditation Raja Yoga, which yoga literally means to connect or to unite. So we forget that. We think yoga is all the stretching and all the poses, but there's a lot more behind yoga than that. So really come comfortably. There's chairs. Some people like to sit on the ground and they can bring yoga mats, but generally there's chairs for everyone to sit on. And some people, if they feel uncomfortable in a chair, they might bring an extra cushion. But really there's no need to bring anything in particular. Yeah.
Just give me a bit of an idea of how it goes. Like you said, you don't talk very much. Would I feel as though I'm rocking up to the library and just sitting in a room and it's all just quiet and I have to try and get in touch with my thoughts and I don't know how to?
So what happens is basically we do a relaxation type method, so where we just focus on the body and relax it. And then the trainer will then lead you into, so we meditate on the heart. The idea is whatever you focus on, whatever you want to improve is what you meditate on. So if you think of a businessman, they wake up and all day they're thinking about their business. They think about profits and loss and how do I optimize whatever it is, outcomes.
Whatever those businessmen do
whatever
with all
they
of their
do.
time. Yeah.
But if you went into a mind of someone like that, they're actually meditating on what they want to become all day until they sleep. So if you think about an artist, they're constantly seeing some kind of beauty or creation in everywhere they go. It's just natural for their mind to focus on that. And in this meditation, it's a little bit different because we're actually creating space and time to focus on my heart. So I focus on my heart. The idea is not to become thoughtless. It is not possible for a human to become thoughtless. Our brain is meant to think. So what we're trying to do is focus on what we say is like love or light within our heart and let the brain just do its thing, but not get carried away with it. That somehow then takes away the power of this brain that if we think about all the thoughts we have, majority of them are useless. You know what I mean? Like we're making up stuff. It's not, it's just, I could be dreaming about unicorns in the clouds. It's not something that's relevant to what's happening now. So it's just more about flipping the way we live and living more from how we feel, what we know is right, rather than having the brain constantly calculating and confusing us. Yeah.
I know that, one of the sort of the ideas is to, expand your awareness and all of that. How does that come to you without sort of an instructor changing the way, your thought patterns are all in that same groove and you go over and you're anxious about this and you don't know how to, whatever that thought pattern, that cognitive therapy. How do you become a more compassionate person, a more peaceful person?
I think it's about focusing on yourself, honestly, because I think we first have to start with compassion towards myself before I can give it to anyone else. And one of the key things would be giving yourself time to stop. So I think in the modern society or modern culture, we feel every minute of the day has to be filled with production. Like I've got to make a meal, I've got to go make some money, I've got to go meet someone, got to watch a movie. We don't, even when we talk to each other, we ask, what are you doing this weekend? The question is, why do you have to be doing something this weekend? So I think self-compassion is about saying, look, why don't I give myself a break? It's okay just to sit here and do nothing. And it's amazing how much you'll fill your tank, as they say, with the silence and just calming the brain down a little bit and giving yourself permission to actually not produce.
I really like that. And the way that you speak, Uma, I could be in a trance from it. Exactly.
Thank you.
What is this thing called transmission focus?
So transmission, it's a funny concept. Basically, if I can, to make it very simple, it's love. So when you go into your grandmother's house and you just feel it, there's this vibration that's just like, I just want to sit here and have a coffee with my grandmother. That's the idea of transmission. So when you're going into a space and everyone is thinking about just something positive, I want to become something better, this is transmission. So it's nice that you read about that, because that's what Heartfulness talks about, where really trainers or volunteers are sitting there holding a space that is hopefully got love in it, that you walk in and you feel, I can just relax and be myself. I feel safe here. Yeah.
Are people finding a sense of community? Do they come because they're amongst like-minded people, do you find? Is there a chance for people to speak and sort of have a bit of fellowship, I guess, afterwards or beforehand?
I think there is definitely, we try to do some social things because people do like getting together, and we like, having a meal. I think it's really important. But I also think that people find a connection even in that silence. We don't need to communicate to feel together. But like anything else, yes, it's a wonderful community. And I must admit, when I came into Heartfulness, so that was 24 years ago, my biggest draw was the community, because I felt that I had families that really, they felt like my family. And I loved that community. And, I was young and working and had a baby and could go to this place where I felt like, I didn't have to prove myself. I could just be whoever I was. And that family's extended to the point where, I've been able to meet people in the most wonderful places like, the United States, Europe and Africa, and that connection is wonderful. Yeah.
Is that because as a board member you're going and like sort of looking at other groups, or just as you travel,
just
then
as
you
we travel.
Always, it's a bit like going to parkrun, other people, you go to Heartfulness, is that right?
I like parkrun. I mean, really, like once we went to, France, and we were in Paris, and we were like, let's just go see what's at the local centre, and met everyone there, and they welcome you like as if they've known you your whole life, and you're like, this is really nice, and you connect with them, and then you move on. But you always can find your little community. Yeah.
And there's no sense that it's affiliated with any sort of religion, or is it?
So the idea of this meditation is it predates any religion that exists now. So it's a practice. Admittedly, a lot of religions have taken on meditation, like the Buddhists and the Hindus and so on. But Heartfulness itself is not affiliated with a religion. We do draw from lessons that different religions have taught, because some of them are very universal, right? About, I guess, love thy neighbour and all those kind of things. So we draw from those, but we're not actually religious based at all, no.
I read a quote when looking for some information about Heartfulness, and it said, are the yoga mats replacing the pews? Like, is the sort of more sort of the meditation, I guess, young people trying to find that calmness, or that that once upon a time, I guess, religion provided for people. Yeah. Are you ever asked to go into work? You were talking about the businessman, workplaces to try and, maybe increase the productivity in a workplace or decrease the absenteeism, any of that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we are involved with some, nationally, so not necessarily in our region, with a lot of corporates. So, Rio Tinto, we've done sessions for the tax office, and Australia Post. And I think when people approach us, it's basically that they want more wellness for their employees. Maybe at a top level, they're thinking, how do we improve these things? But when we're approached in a way of, we just want something that makes our employees and our staff and everyone feel better. So we do things online or in person, and so volunteers will go in there. But I haven't heard that, how do you decrease,
increase the productivity, decrease the, I think that's what the boss man's thinking the whole time.
They're thinking that way, probably.
Look, you've tuned into Big Little Small Talk. I'm Megan O'Hara-Sullivan, and we're talking to Dr. Kumar, who is a local GP. Can I ask you, Uma, what's your cultural heritage?
I'm from Tamil Nadu in India, which is a state, and Hindu by background. However, I was born and brought up in Victoria, in Geelong. Most people will know the cats. So I guess most of my life, and we didn't travel back much. So, the heritage, what I've learnt is from my parents, basically. And I must admit, I'm probably lucky to be able to live both worlds. So I can comfortably slip into one and then slip into the other. But it's quite nice. Yeah.
I've actually been to Tamil Nadu. Incredible. So tell me, were your parents married when they came out and went to Geelong, and what were they doing for work?
Yeah, so my dad got a scholarship at Monash University to study masters in computer science. So computer science was the new thing out then in the 70s, if you remember. You were probably young for that. when the computer took up a whole floor, so he came to study, and I think he just was looking for experience and opportunities. I don't think he came with any plans, but then ended up becoming a tutor and then a lecturer, and then ended up in Deakin University. So
was he already married by then?
Yeah, he was already married.
And was your mum working or not?
No. So my mum actually stayed in India until he had settled himself in and then came over. And
what's your sort of memories of you being first generation migrant? What's your kind of, when you think back to that time, what's your overwhelming memories?
I think it was difficult because I think that's when so Geelong had a lot of European migrants, and people were quite comfortable with that, but they were not really aware of people from Asia. There wasn't many Asian or African immigrants at that time. So I think in the community, we struggled because we weren't accepted, so we were the generation that probably broke people's, misunderstanding, of those cultures. So it was quite challenging as children because we didn't understand why we were being treated differently,
Who is we? Who else
so
is
my
there?
brother.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you were both born here?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't need to take you back to the whatever racism you experienced there, but do you remember your parents being lonely, that they were just, or did you have a lot of Indian friends, or was there a big community?
No, there wasn't. So they were quite isolated. So they didn't have much of a community. I think that's why now I'm so big on community, because I could see how my parents really struggled without having the supports and having someone to go to. I mean, they had one or two really good friends, but not that feeling of belonging. And once you've lived in a community, when you go back to where you think was home, you don't feel like you belong there either.
That's the trouble,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're kind of caught in this between two cultures and two worlds. So that for me, that's really important now.
Can you remember the first time you went to Tamil Nadu?
Oh, I was probably very young, under 10. And for us it was fun because my parents were from a village, and I think the biggest thing I felt like you didn't have your parents worried about you walking on the street or riding your bike because it was so safe. Everyone knew everyone. You just walked into anyone's house and asked for a glass of water and walked out, Everyone would be like, who are you?
Were you able to speak the language?
Not very well.
Yeah.
No.
So were you caught in between two worlds where people were speaking to you and you're like, hey, I'm Australian, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. People would tease us,
Right.
Like, what are you saying? So language is a bit of a problem when we're young.
And were your parents from big families and you had lots of cousins there?
Yes, still have them.
Yeah.
So a very big family, because a sense of cousins are considered like your brothers and sisters. So if you think that's how many you have, so it's quite close knit. Yeah.
Did you feel when you went there, did you ever sort of feel like children of migrant parents, they go and live then where their parents came from, because it's kind of the other, you know. Did you ever have that desire to go and live there?
Not really. I mean, I love it, and we go back every year,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
So we go back and we get the best of when we go back, you know. We get the food, there's always festivities and things like that. And I must admit, the life there is probably really good if you can afford it, because you get a driver, everyone has, you know, a maid, and, you know, all these wonderful things. But I think the one thing I'm born here, this is what I know. I love the independence. I love the ability to be able to just get in my car and go get something, where there it's a little bit different, you know. It's
In what way?
if you want to go, well, you need to call the driver.
Oh, right, yes.
I mean, it's such a hard problem,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
right, it's a real first world problem.
But you know, that ability to be spontaneous and free here, I like that, yeah.
And tell me about doing medicine. Like, how much kind of, I don't want to be a stereotype, but how much kind of pressure was there for you to do really well as a first generation migrant, although your father was an academic by this stage?
So it's really interesting, because my dad wanted me to be an academic. So he said, oh, I'd love you to do mathematics. I was like, oh, you know, I don't think I want a life of maths.
Oh, no, I would have loved to have done pure maths.
Yeah. So that was his dream. Of course, for them, like, if you understand where they came from, education opens doors. It still does. I think we don't realise it even here. It opens doors. And my mum had an aspiration that, especially as a woman or as a young girl, that I should be independent. Because she came from a community, of course, where the women were always dependent on the men. It doesn't mean they were disrespected. They were respected, and they're highly, you know, they were treated really well. But for her to have a daughter who's educated, who was not dependent on anyone, if things go wrong, you can fix it. That's what she wanted. And so one of her things was like, if you could do something in this field, I'd be happy, you know. And so she didn't push, and it wasn't so much based on academics. It was more that I'd love you to be independent and a working woman.
And what about your brother? What did he do?
He went on and became a GP. It's my younger brother. He followed me.
Yeah, that's amazing. It really is, the pair of you. So your parents quite happy with where you ended up?
Oh, well, I think they are happy. I think what makes them happy is the fact that we're able to live. We haven't chosen one side or the other. We're just able to fuse everything we have together. Yeah, I think they like that.
Now, you're married to a doctor as well.
He's a dentist.
He's a dentist, right. And is he of Indian heritage?
Yes.
And how much kind of pressure was that for you?
Not really.
No.
It
It's
was
just who you're attracted to.
Yeah.
And he'd grown up in Australia too.
in India.
Oh,
So our families knew each other and were introduced that way. So it was kind of like, I guess it was kind of arranged, but not in the old style arranged. Yeah.
Look, I think there's something to be said for arranged marriages, because why is that any less valid than, you know, I don't know that Tinder's got the answer either.
Yeah.
So within your practice now, you do employ a lot of these methods of trying to get people connected to their community, which is sometimes called social prescribing. Yeah. What do you know about social prescribing?
I don't know much about, you know, the term itself, but I think naturally it just happens in my interactions, especially when as a GP I do a lot of, I think, social prescribing. I wouldn't probably write it as that, you know, but I do find that I'm telling people over and over again, you know, get out, you know, walk through the park, connect with a community group, remember what you used to love when you were young. And, you know, whether it's a hobby or, you know, collecting or whatever it is, I think it adds a lot of joy into a person's life. I think at the moment that the biggest issue we probably have is isolation. A lot of health issues are due to isolation, because people just, it's so easy to just wake up and put on the TV, or now it's your phone, things get delivered. So I do promote that quite a bit, because I think a lot of chronic disease is due to us trying to make life easy and isolating people. Yeah.
I have found in my life as an allied health practitioner that there's more people and you would find this absolutely as a GP, do people just almost come in for a chat?
Particularly older people who obviously, you know, some of their connections are being lost, you know, like friends and so on, who are passing on to heaven or, you know, hopefully somewhere bigger. Feeling lost and just they come in, they're very happy. It's really interesting. Some people come in even an hour earlier than their appointment just to sit, and they have a chat with our receptionist or the nurse or the person next to them, and that makes them feel happy. And of course we would never tell them not to, but it shows that there's a void, and I guess there's that need for social prescribing of, you know, if they had connection elsewhere.
Do you have any method, you say to them, go and join that choir or go and join the bike club? Is there any way that, and I suppose that's the model of social prescribing, of that being followed through or making sure it happens?
I think that's the biggest difficulty, because, you know, you can always, I always write notes, and so then I will follow up with it in the next appointment whenever I meet them again. But I guess you can't get out there and actually go with them. I think that's the biggest difficulty, and I think that's where we do need someone to be able to connect them. I guess organisations like NDIS and My Aged Care are kind of doing that, where they have people that actually take them places. But I think people who don't fit under that umbrella, it's really hard. Yeah.
Do you find, certainly I do, in practice, there's a lot more anxiety, a lot more depression, and a lot more of that, as you say, like isolation. Yeah,
there is. I think there's definitely, I mean, I've been practicing since 2000, and there's definitely more anxiety and depression. I don't think it's all, I think there is a social shift we can make so that to make this better. I don't think all of it is, you know, what we call pathological, where it all needs medications and needs to see a psychiatrist. I don't think all of them need that. Sometimes people are just lost, you know, or they've lost their purpose in life, and sometimes when they find that, then this part gets a little bit better.
I find the really interesting way to look at it is not what's the matter with you, but what matters to you, and finding out what matters to you. But I find as an allied health professional that I wouldn't be game enough to say, oh, so what did you love doing when you were younger? Did you love bike riding? How about we go and look up where the bike riding clubs are? And but that's why I think it's, such an interesting area for us to explore. I will just remind the listeners that you're on 102.7 FM, and we're on Big Little Small Talk, and we're talking to Dr. Kumar, who's a GP and a board member on the Heartfulness Institute. Now, what I do want to talk to you, you spoke briefly before about being from Tamil Nadu. So you said that you were the former secretary. What's the Tamil community here in Toowoomba? What sort of numbers are we looking at?
Well, it started, if I go back, so I think the first family came to Toowoomba in the 90s, and so then just slowly, you know, kind of grew. I think currently we don't know all the numbers. We haven't been able to connect with everyone, but I think there would be about 100 to 200 people for sure in Toowoomba. The association itself is only 5 years old, so it's a very, you know, baby organisation. But trying to bring the people within the community to, I guess, be part of Toowoomba. So the focus is, yes, we're Tamil, but we are part of Toowoomba. So inviting people from the Toowoomba community in to, you know, see how we do the things we do. You know.
Tell me about the Pongal Festival.
Oh, you heard about this.
I've been to that, remember?
Oh, yes, you have. Yes, we did it this year as well. So
sound like a big dirty old skite. Oh, I know this, I know that. No, sorry, I interrupted you. You keep going.
No. So the Pongal Festival is actually a harvest festival. And so it's something celebrated really big in villages, you know, because of course in villages farming is one of the biggest things. And I think that's the connection between Toowoomba and, you know, I guess Tamil. We have farmers. We have lots of farmers in this community, and farmers really appreciate nature. You know, they're always looking at when the sun comes out. When is it going to rain? You know, what season is it? When do we plant? And so Pongal is it's like basically a Thanksgiving festival. We're thanking nature, and some of the prayers are to the sun god, because do anything, we can't grow anything without the sun. And so there's a lot of traditional things that happen within 3 or 4 days of the Pongal festival, of worshipping the sun, thanking the cows that help us plough the land, and rice is a staple. So, you know, we make recipes with rice, sweet and savoury, and people come together. It's a holiday, really. You know.
Have you had the Pongal festival this year
We
already?
have,
Yeah.
yes.
And where was it held?
It was held at Hodgson's Vale Sports Club.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. And is it just a day, or is it?
We did it as a day, yes.
Yeah. And people from outside the community are invited, are they?
They are, yes.
So that you can sort of educate people, is it?
I think so that they can come and have an experience, because, you know, like if you can't go there, you might as well have an experience in your own town.
Yeah.
So they can come and they can taste the traditional food.
Tug of war.
We always do a tug of war.
What's the significance of the tug of war?
Honestly, I don't know, but it's something that they do. There's a traditional dance that everyone does. I think you weren't there when we did the dance, because I don't think we did it that year, but there's dances and things like that. Yeah.
And the ladies are all dressed beautifully in their traditional saris and things, and they're just tugging on that rope and falling over each other, and so there's no shame about that. No. Lovely.
It's all a bit of fun.
So what people, if it's the Tamil Association, it's not just Tamil people from south of India, Tamil Nadu,
No.
it's Sri Lankan and...
Yes, yeah. Because Tamil is the language that is connecting everyone. So I think that's a unique thing, that we have people from Singapore and Malaysia, Sri Lanka and India here in Toowoomba, but I think there's some other regions that speak Tamil as well. So it's really interesting. People have different religions within our community. So it makes it quite diverse as compared to, you know, I guess some other cultural communities where everyone is the same religion and, you know, things like that.
They're
So it
not
makes it
warring
fun.
religions, though, are they? Or basically the
I
same,
think-
or you just decide not to talk about it when you're all together?
Look, I think it's totally removed from when you're here at the grassroots. I think some of those clashes tend to be more politically, you know, created, you know, in the countries. And so when I'm with another family, it doesn't come into it. The religion doesn't come into it, you know, because we're still connecting through the language. Yeah.
Now, am I imagining this, but was there some big ice sculpture or something like that? No, I am imagining it. Don't worry, I don't know where I got that from. Now, tell me, that must have been some other wild party that I went to. Tell me about the Peace Committee. What is that?
The Peace Committee. So we formed a few years ago, and I guess it was initiated by, I think, you know, Mr. Hanif, and basically it's representatives from different organisations who are working in their own, I don't want to say silo, but their own domain, to do something great for the community. And we all came together and we started off thinking, oh, what can we do together? So we started off by celebrating International Peace Day.
So when you say, sorry to interrupt you there, Emma, when you say different organisations, are they different faith groups, or are they the likes of, I don't know, what sort of...
So just to give you who was there, not faith groups. So of course there's us as Heartfulness Institute, there's the Bunya Scouts, Lions Club, we have representatives from TIMS, the Toowoomba Youth Peace Group, and I hope I don't miss anyone else.
Pure
we have
Land.
Pure
Yeah,
Land,
yeah.
yes. Most importantly, Pure Land. Toowoomba Regional Council, we have someone as a representative. So, as you can see, they're quite diverse. Everyone works in different ways, like the Bunya Scouts work with youth. Tim's works in the multicultural side. The Lions Club, of course, you know, they take care of parks and they do lots of other diverse things. So yeah, and we're always welcoming new people. You know, it's just about people doing community work. Yeah.
And what was the idea of, it's to foster social inclusion, isn't
Yes.
it, I gather? And I did read that you said it's to develop actionable plans. What sort of things are we talking?
Yeah, so I think it comes back to connection. So there's a whole group of these wonderful people working in their own thing, but imagine if they all come together and do something together according to the needs or of what Toowoomba needs. So it's more specific to our local community. It's not about the United Nations or internationally what's happening outside. It's like, what do we need here in Toowoomba? So we have this goal moving forward that we come together and work together and see what is actually the needs and what are the actions, who acts on them, who gets the outcomes. Yeah.
Is there inclusion of the Yazidi population here?
So when we've run our events, we've always invited them in to attend. We're not there yet because we're still kind of, forming how do we involve everything, because in a sense, we don't want to be multicultural. We want to be just Toowoomba, inclusive of everyone. Because the minute you're multicultural, you're kind of excluding people who don't identify with that. So we want to go beyond faith and culture and be more inclusive.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. And what was the big coup last year of the Toowoomba? What happened with Toowoomba here?
So we're trying to get it out there. So Toowoomba actually was awarded an International City of Peace.
Who awards that?
So that comes from, it's actually an organisation called International Cities of Peace, based in US, I think it's in Florida, who are kind of connected with the United Nations, but not directly under them. So they've got their own freedom. And to get into that, I guess, that family is you've just got to show that you have a genuine interest to bring peace into your community and that you've actually had a timeline of doing that. And that's where all these groups of organisations came together. We could show, look at all these people. Remember that Toowoomba Together is with us as well. I shouldn't leave them out. But, on the domestic violence side, on the youth side. So we proved over 20 years that there's been work happening, and we're committed for it to keep going on. So that's how we got it.
Is that different? Because years ago it was quite well known that Toowoomba became a city of peace and harmony, was it?
It was
a refugee welcome zone.
Refugee welcome zone, yes.
And now we're a internationally recognised peace city, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are those two things at all connected or not really?
We did, in our application, put that in because, of course, that's quite unique to us to be able to welcome people from those zones. So that was part of the story of what we presented, but it wasn't the major part of it.
I like that. It's not just focusing on multicultural, it's on the community.
Yeah.
Well, you must just walk around polishing your halo, I think, because you are doing so much good work. Yeah.
Well, I think everyone has the potential to be part of it. I think that's the thing that people don't realise, that it's, and this is the thing with peace, is that everyone wants it. It's actually quite universal, isn't it? So people don't realise they can be part of making it. And I think that's what we need to kind of make contagious.
And it starts at a local level, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It has to start at a local level.
Yeah. You must feel quite despairing of what's happening in the world, particularly in the Middle East at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's human nature to want to stir, isn't it? So I think the key thing is that we should see what they're doing that we know we shouldn't do here, and remember that. I think, there's a lesson from everything.
Yes, it's frightening. It is quite despairing. Now, I've just got a couple of general questions for you.
Shoot away.
Now, you're sitting here beaming at me as a person, I think, who has got a beautiful soul. But what particularly made you smile today?
Okay, so of course, as you know, I meditate. So I woke this morning after meditating when I opened my eyes to see the most beautiful scene of Toowoomba. So I'm very lucky to be able to see the mountains, and I think that makes me happy. It's the simple things, because it makes you forget everything else, and straight after that I went and enjoyed the Cobb & Co markets, which I love, because it's, just people,
being out on a Saturday morning in Toowoomba.
Getting their coffee.
Nice, Now, I would imagine you read. Are you a reader?
Yes, I try to. I've got a few books going.
Have you? So what's the last good book that you read?
Couple of books. So one was The Power of Paradox, where it shows the, paradoxes of life, which I found was interesting. But another one that really sticks to me is Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've read it. Amazing, by James Clear. So it's about changing habits, but changing it in a very practical way. And the reason why I love that book is that things in there can be applied every day. So apply to my professional life and my personal life.
Give me an example. What's the thing?
So he has this one thing that I love that he says, just change 1% every day. So I think that's doable. We can all kind of, when someone says reduce your sugar, it's easy to say, but when you can say, right, today I'm going to have half a teaspoon less in my coffee, and tomorrow I'll have another half, you can do that. So you actually get outcomes with that 1%.
I just can't imagine, Uma, what it is that you would need to improve on. What would it be?
Well, all of us need to improve on something. I don't exercise enough. I could
Are
give
you
you a
eating
list.
that elephant one bite at a time?
Well,
You're
yes,
going for a walk
1% at a time.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing as a human. There's always something that we always can, improve ourselves in the sense of I can become a better me every day. Yeah.
And you've got children too.
I do have children, yes.
Are they testing of you?
I'm really lucky. I mean, a mother always stresses. I think it's quite natural. But I'm lucky they haven't done anything too wild yet.
How old are they?
So one's 23 and one's 19.
Yeah, there might be
There was still
past
time.
it, do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
there's always still time,
You're not
so-
up at the principal's office begging them not to expel your child today, like I was, and not every day. Now, this is a question for a doctor. If I had to leave a body part to science, what would it be?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I probably, am I allowed to say two?
No, of course. Yeah.
I'd probably say brain and heart. I just love to know if someone could do research on, because we know about the gut and the mind, right? There's this axis between both.
The microbiome.
The microbiome.
Or biomicrome, as I always seem to
The magical, the magical
The
connection.
panacea to everything is the microbiome.
But what about the heart and the mind? Because another good book is The Heart's Code, where they did transplants between, to someone, and they developed the memories of the person who
is
they
it a
got the
fictional
heart from.
book?
No, it's a real book. It's actually written by a heart surgeon.
How interesting.
Yeah, so you got to read
is
that
that
one
true? They got the memories?
So they got the memories of the person that's heart that they got. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
That's
I think that's a good
amazing,
research to do.
Yeah. Oh, well, I might leave that one for you. What about your most favourite person in the whole wide world, Uma?
That's a loaded question.
It is,
isn't
I know,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
a
get
hard
into
one.
trouble.
Yeah, you don't have to say your husband.
Oh gosh. I would say favourite, I'd probably say most admired person would be my grandmother. She was an amazing human. She was widowed at 18. And she took on life. She took on every opportunity. She just loved life. And she travelled, as a widow in that time, you'd think she would have just resigned into depression and everything. And she made the most of life.
Right. Who is your most favourite person in the whole wide world?
I think I'd say my grandmother. She was a woman that took on all the opportunities that was given to her in a very difficult time. And she was someone who didn't give up on life. And I think being widowed at 18 in a village where it was considered that's the end. So you know, in those times you weren't allowed to remarry or anything. And she had a baby at 3 months old, just a devastating situation. But she created a purpose for herself. She became the centre of everything. She became the managers of events and delivered babies, you name it. She just developed skills to make her life full.
And that house that you went into, that you were talking about earlier, it's like being in your grandmother's house. Is that the same grandmother?
Yes.
Yeah. And was she to you and your brother, was she ever sort of disapproving of you being too Western or anything like that?
No, and I think that's the thing we loved about her. She was such an open-minded person. She actually wasn't that conservative considering her generation. And we used to laugh. She loved mac and cheese. She would eat anything. She just loved it. So, no, and I think that's why we just, loved
So whose
appreciated
mother is that, your father?
My mum's
Your
mum,
mother's. So she's an only child, your mother?
Yes,
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
What is the most difficult thing you've ever done, Uma?
I think in my earlier years as a doctor, I think one of the hardest things is sit with someone who's dying. And especially when you're so young and you haven't lived life enough, and facing mortality you know, is very hard. And I remember sitting in hospitals and being next to people on their last breath, whether they have family or not with them, you know, and just contemplating, you know, what's going on here. But I think as you mature, you kind of within yourself resolve that, you know, phase of life.
Is that because you've been practicing more, or you, as you get older, you accept that death is a part of life as well?
I'd say both, honestly, because I think as you get older, yes, you know, my patients are aging with me. I can see them, you know, the inevitable, will come. But there's also, through my practice, I feel like there's this level of acceptance as well. You can peacefully accept that, yes, this is part of it. Don't resist. When we resist is when we suffer a lot, isn't it? So I find my practice has really helped me be more compassionate with those people, but also understanding that I will be there, you know, one day. Like, I have to understand that's going to be me. That's, you know, but not be scared of it either. Yeah.
What do you believe happens to us after we die?
I'm believing something good will happen. There's absolutely no proof. We don't know. I think it's better to believe in the positive rather than the negative. So if you resign to the fact that that's it or it's going to be horrible, well, how you live now will be governed by that. So if you think it's going to be good, it's going to be okay.
You think there is some life after death?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably the influence of Hinduism as well. You know, that comes into, you know, there is reincarnation. I don't know if there really is. But I like the idea of that, because to me it means, well, hey, I've got another chance at this. You know? So believing in that, whether it's true or not, it's like believing in Santa Claus. But when children believe in that, the joy they have and their behaviour changes, and the day of Christmas is magical. And I think that's important. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. You talked about your parents earlier. Do you think there's sort of, what's your most memorable lesson that your parents have taught you, do you think?
I have to say probably more based on values. Like, even though we're Tamil and Hindu, I don't think they really got caught too much in rituals and the importance of dressing a certain way and, you know, doing this on this day. It was more about the core value of what you were doing. What does it mean? Like, you know, what does prayer actually mean? Rather than the words, they didn't teach us actually any prayers or chants or anything. They were like, just pray, just connect, you know, connect to God, and good things will happen. It was kept very simple, and I think I really appreciated that, because then that has allowed me to appreciate all faiths and people who are not of faith, you know, as well, because it wasn't this heavy teaching of this is how we have to do it.
Not the dogma and the too many rules around it. Yeah. Wow, wonderful, lovely lesson, I think. Royals, you into the royals? Doesn't have to be the English royals, it can be some other royalty.
Well, no,
do you have a favourite?
I remember being young and loving Princess Diana, because she was like the fairy tale princess, wasn't she? And I remember always looking at the new idea and thinking, God, that's such a beautiful dress. You know, she always had a tiara. So that's my memories of a royal that I probably, as a young person, I mean, at the moment I don't think I'm too fussed about it.
Are there a royal family in India?
There used to be, obviously, before the British. I think there are still royals, but they don't live that way. But yeah, after the British came and left, I think that all kind of dissolved.
That overlay, yeah. And what about dancing, Uma? Do you love a dance?
No, I don't.
No, what about traditional Indian dancing?
Oh no, I'm a terrible dancer.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely terrible. No, I'm not a dancer.
So no dancing either way?
No.
There's no song that can't keep you off the dance floor?
Oh, look, there's some songs that make me happy.
Okay, well, give me one of those.
Okay, you know the movie Madagascar?
Yeah.
I'd like to move it. You know that one where all the animals dance? That always makes me happy.
Okay.
Seeing all those animals dance. But I wouldn't get on the dance floor for that.
What about for your own wedding? Did you dance then?
Oh, no, we didn't have a dance, actually. We had band, but yeah, no dance.
Is that quite traditional?
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to do a wedding?
Not in the region we're from.
Yeah.
There's no dancing,
Wow.
It's not like a Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
Ours went for 2 days. It's not practical anymore to do those long weddings. People can't take time off work.
Yes, that's right.
So it's all comprised.
And is there anyone dancing at the wedding?
So the kids get up and dance. It's coming back though. People are starting to, yeah.
Uma, I've just really enjoyed hearing all the things that you've done, that you're doing and that you've done, and I'm sure to do in the future. And yeah, I think you're a leading example of how we should be living our life and what we should be thinking about doing, and all sort of going towards courage and calmness and courageousness and all those things. So thank you for sharing your story today on Big Little Small Talk.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
That's it for this week. Thanks for joining me on Big Little Small Talk. I hope you can make the time to join me next week. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favourite podcast app.
You've been listening to a 102.7 FM Toowoomba original podcast. For more podcasts or to listen to live and local Toowoomba radio, please visit 1027.com.au or listen on iHeartRadio and Community Radio Plus apps.